Alright guys, welcome back to yet another episode here on the Jason Kendall podcast. Today we're going to do mainly a Q&A. I was going to do a whole episode about some other things, and I just had so many Q&A questions that I don't want to make it long drawn out. But what I wanted to talk about was this truck shortage. So I have, obviously, people that I know that are in the transport industry, and everybody is having issues getting trucks. Kind of. Depends on who you are. I know some guys that have just ordered a few. I've seen Watch This Freight. I think he just ordered, Jesse just ordered 3 brand new Ram 5500 Laramies and isn't paying over sticker. So what happened is just production due to COVID. Now, one major factor of that is the chip shortage, especially for Ford. I'm looking at the numbers here, and this isn't just trucks, but there is total about, as of right now, 882,000 vehicles that have not been produced as a direct result of the chip shortage. And they estimate it's going to affect 1.7 million vehicles. So what's happening, and why I'm talking about this, we'll get there, is that the trucks that the dealers do have are getting an insane markup on them. I've seen pictures from dealerships where their markup is $10,000 to $15,000 on top of the sticker for F-350s. I've seen $5,000 to $6,000. I think it was a 550 cabin chassis. Just dealers taking advantage of the way the market is. And as a direct result of there being no new vehicles, the used car market has taken the same path as the new car market. Values are soaring. I see people, trying to sell their used trucks with 50, 60, 70,000 miles for the price of what you could have before you got a new one, which to me is absolutely insane. And what happens is you can get yourself in a world of trouble that way when a bank's willing to lend you 130, 140% of what that vehicle's actually worth in the hotshot industry, because as a used truck, you're already starting out with miles on it. Warranty, yeah, you may have an extended warranty, but that's going to be very limited, especially on diesel trucks. It's hard to get a good extended warranty on a used diesel truck. Now, I know for new, they do offer extended warranties past the 100,000 mile warranty, but on used it's very hard to get. But what happens is you get a truck that has, let's just say you buy a used truck with 50,000 miles on it. They lend you 130% of what book value really is, compared to a year ago. You run this truck for 2 years, you have 250,000 miles on it. Took the loan out for $60,000 on 5 or 6 years. Truck's got 250,000 miles on it, and you still owe 100% of what that truck was worth 2 years ago. So what happens is the truck gets worn out, because that's what we do out here. We put miles on trucks. Truck gets worn out, has a major, malfunction, major engine damage, transmission damage, and if you can't afford to fix it, you're stuck with a bank note on a truck that's a paperweight, and you owe, 30% over of what you should actually owe on it. So you can get yourself in some pretty tough financial problems there, and I've seen that. I've seen this happen before. Just because a bank's willing to loan you the money on it doesn't mean you should do it. It happened with the housing market, 2008 and all that, and that's when interest rates go up and all that. But what I'm getting at is you guys that are into the enterprise lease program and swear by it. I don't have I do have an opinion, because I prefer to buy all my stuff and modify it and fix it as I see fit. But if you rely on the enterprise lease program, what's stopping Enterprise from coming in and saying, you know, this truck has, you know, you're usually turning them in at 60,000 miles. What happens when the truck has, you know, 80, 100,000 miles because they can't get you a replacement, and they come in and say, hey, you have 30 days to return this truck, and then you're stuck without a truck, which goes into what I was just talking about of the truck shortage and then having to overpay for a quality used vehicle. So I just kind of wanted to point that out. Because I get a lot of advice. I tell people, if you can afford it, you know, buy a new truck, start fresh. But if you can't, there's good used options. But right now, really, there is no, you know, good used options, because I've been trying to help some of my buddies find trucks that are so busy with work because of how much freight is moving right now. An extra truck and an extra trailer is going to pay for itself real quick, but finding a quality used one that's not, you know, marked up a crazy amount, it's hard to find. So I figured I'd talk on that, I'd touch on that, but we're just going to jump into the Q&A because I did get a lot of questions. So we'll see if we answer all these, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I got 13 questions on my post that I put up on my Hotshot Haulers page on YouTube. So we're going to go through them in order and answer the ones that I'm comfortable with answering. So first one, Devin Richards asks, any tips for someone starting off like you with a 1 truck and a 2-car trailer? My only advice is it depends on the way the market is. Sometimes with a 2-car trailer, like I found, it was tough to make money because I was getting these jobs of out of town and, you know, long hauls, but the back haul wasn't really worth the trip. So I try to price my outbound freight accordingly. But my plan, or, you know, my recommendation would be, you know, find yourself a niche where you can do like in-ops. You're willing to do in-ops. Have a good winch on the trailer, or even just use that 2-car trailer like I did to get to the 3-car plus trailer. Kyle Miller asks, any tips starting a hotshot business hauling freight? How did I get my customers? I don't really have any tips for starting in freight because I tried to stay away from freight, but the freight found me. And that's kind of leading into how did I get my customers. Most of my customers are all word of mouth. My truck beds that I'm doing now, that's word of mouth. I have the customer in my previous vlog that I had that commercial lawnmower for. He's actually hired me for a whole day to move 3 trucks for him. And in total it's about 200 miles just of some back and forth, and he's willing to pay a whole day rate for that. So it's just kind of word of mouth. Do good work and the customers will come to you. Drew asks, any states, areas you tend to avoid? If so, why? I try to avoid just like the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area, even though I came through there today. Reason why, one little accident can mess up your whole day. Excuse me, it took me 10.5 hours to go 430 miles today. So it added 2-3 hours to my trip. The tolls get you, traffic can get you, finding parking. Like I'm in a hotel right now, but this place is actually is pretty nice and has a massive parking lot, but it took me, an hour last night on my phone trying to find this. So kind of just that major city area I like to avoid. My favorite trips are those Midwest trips where, I've got 1,200 miles in front of me and nothing but flat, open country roads. Prius Propellant asks, are you willing to sign on another truck and trailer under your authority? Non-CDL 2-car cargo trailer running a Dodge 3500. I would be, yes. We would have to agree on some terms. I do need help. I don't know where you live, Prius Repellent. I forget. It's hard to keep up. But I'm looking for someone local to me that's willing to work. PA and Maryland area, like within an hour of Chambersburg, because all my work that I would need your help with would be there local, and then we would fill you in from there. Tanders ask, when you pick up a car, do you make the shipper sign your pickup inspection on Super Dispatch or just the receiver if you use Super Dispatch? Yes, I do use Super Dispatch. I highly recommend them. I'm actually on their website. They did an interview with me and sent out a professional photographer to take pictures because I've always been adamant about their product. But you should always get the pickup location to sign, unless you're at something like an auction or a Copart. You should be walking around that vehicle with the person at the pickup location, pointing out damages so they know you see them, so they're not trying to get over on a customer. There's crappy people out there, you guys know that. Driven Enterprise says, I'm just starting out in Pennsylvania, waiting for my federal tax ID number, operating authority to start. What's a good insurance? Progressive is the only company that's going to insure a new company, and they are going to take it to you with a probe, so just be prepared. You already have your Class A, that's good, and the best way to get loads. If you're looking to haul cars, it's Central Dispatch. If you're looking to haul freight, Truck Stop. And I use Keep Truck and ELD, and I have not had an issue. I have heard of issues from them. I had an issue with them previously, and they were able to take care of it pretty quickly, so I've been happy with their service. Travis Nix asks, where and how did you mount your fire extinguisher in the single cab? So in the single cab Rams, they have a big like storage tray behind the seats that runs the full length. I mounted it on the passenger side down to the floor of that storage tray. Chris asks, you started local and now run long distance. Is the money that much better on long distance to make up for missing the wife and the baby? Yes, the money is there, or I wouldn't do it. My wife understands that that's how I make my money, so she's okay with me being gone a couple nights a week, and she understands. So, but there is also no amount of money that can, make up for the time that I am not with my child, but I'm trying to set us up so that I can be more present for the rest of her life, if that makes sense. Scotty B asks, at 21 years old, would non-CDL car hauling be worth it, or would insurance be an issue? Suppose I had a 2-car gooseneck and a clean driving record. Currently 18, and I have interest in car hauling and Hotshot in general, but I'm not sure. But I'm not sure if I want to get a CDL yet. Just go get your Class A. It's going to help you with insurance rates, and then you might as well just start with a bigger setup. That is my biggest regret, is not starting with a bigger setup. Let's keep going. Michael asks, how is a new truck coming along? Slowly. I've been kind of, stockpiling some parts for it. I think, fingers crossed, I have some time to work on it this weekend. We're going to do a full PM on it and just kind of check everything over as far as that goes. I got 4 brand new Alcoas to put on it, on the front and the outsides and the rear. And yeah, well, it's coming slow, but I need a trailer. I've been looking for a trailer to pull with that truck, and I'm having issues finding the trailer I want or making up my mind, so I'm not in really a hurry to get it on the road if I don't have a trailer yet. Phil asks, how can I stay under 65 foot with a 3-car wedge and a Ram 3500 dually? I don't know the actual length that those come out to, but I've never been measured, so it's hard to tell. Like that 48 foot 2-car gooseneck enclosed at a pool, I assume that probably puts me over 65 feet, and I've never had an issue. It's just all about who the cop is that pulls you over. Sometimes if all your other paperwork is good and they really want to get you for something, they'll get that measuring tape out and they'll see how long you are. And my boy Jack TV said pronouns, and I said verbs. But I'm going to try to do these Q&As and try to answer questions a little easier, because I get so many DMs on Instagram and Facebook. It's just hard to keep up with. I hope you guys understand. So if you guys, when I put out a that I'm going to do a Q&A, if you would just put your questions there, I can answer them for everybody instead of replying to the same messages over and over and over again, which when I get busy throughout the week, I tend to not get to them until the weekend, and sometimes I forget about them. So that being said, guys, I'm I don't know. That's it. I've got it's 8 o'clock now. I've got a couple hours before I go to bed. We've got an hour to our delivery in the morning, and should be able to get some pretty cool shots because we'll actually be in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. So thanks for watching today, guys. Thanks for listening. If you just tuned in on the audio only version, we'll see you guys on the next one.